we are reminded that paradoxically this is the richest continent on earth. But our people, ironically, are the poorest. We are humiliated in different parts of the world as our young men and women run away from the continent. You only have to see how Western embassies humiliate our young men and women. You only have to see how our young men and women are humiliated in Morocco, in Tunisia, in Libya, as they cross the desert and then the Mediterranean Sea in the quest of what they think is better life. The paradox is that as this happens and as our young men and women suffer this fate, African politicians are the richest in the world. It is an irony. And as Wole Soyinka once said, what amazes him is that when young people across the continent are called upon to congregate, they have the habit of supporting the very same individuals who steal from them. So that in many African countries today, we may claim and talk about democracy, but many African countries are led by kleptocrats, thieves. But we are never hungry for some reason. We still celebrate thieves. We call them our thieves. Which then begs the question, if the 25 on the right track, we are in the first third of the 21st century, in the year 2025. And as the saying goes, time and tide waits for no man. So today, as we congregate here, and as we...
Well, good evening and welcome to today's edition of the RiverSide Talk. We are here again on the Twah River platform. I want to say welcome to you all that are watching and those that will come after this, that will watch this video. I want to say welcome to you all. It is Saturday, the 6th of June 2026, and we are here again with another fresh edition of the RiverSide Talk. Stay tuned and join us as we go through today's discussion. And disclaimer, we have no copyright to any music we play on this platform.
We ask ourselves the necessary but uncomfortable questions. We must ask ourselves whether we are in the right direction. On the 21st day of October 2025, I was at the State University of Zanzibar on the occasion of the launch of the digital contributions of Sheikh Abeid Amani Karume, the first president of Zanzibar. And they too are focusing on the role of the youth. And I reminded my audience, if they remember very well, in 1964, when Amani Karume led his party, Afro Shirazi, to join the party of Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere TANU.
All right, well, folks, want to say thank you to you all. We are here again with another edition. And we want to give you this lineup for the week. Tomorrow, the 7th, will be in conversation with the leadership of the Twah River Development Association of America. Will be our guest here tomorrow. And then on Monday, we will be in conversation with Mr. Armstrong Gobaslekbo, a political advisor to Mr. Musa Hassan Belete of CMC. And then on Tuesday, we'll be in conversation with Honorable Gompu El Kagon, former representative, District Number 4. And then on Wednesday, we'll be in conversation with Honorable Nanka Ige, District Number 3 representative, will be our guest here on Wednesday. And then on Friday, we'll be talking to Mr. Peterson Walker, the former PMC of NIMA, will be our guest here on Friday. So that's the lineup. We will fill in Thursday. Once we find somebody to occupy that spot, we'll fill it in. But as it stands, that is the lineup for the week. Tomorrow is the leadership of the Twah River Development Association. And then on Monday will be Armstrong Gobaslekbo. On Tuesday, Honorable Gompu El Kagon will be our guest here. And then Wednesday, Honorable Nanka Ige will be our guest. So stay tuned and follow us. We've shared those flyers. Just watch and then like and follow our page. Now, let's talk about something here, folks. It's in 90 degrees. 90 degrees from where I sit, which is very hot. So let's talk about this. The issue of, we always say our education system is this, our education system is that, which is quite, worrisome to see where our education system is going. And especially the period we're in where we are sending students to write the WASI exam, the WAS exam, sorry. And then if we're talking about students, we want our students to have a good mark in things like math, reading, math, English, literature, physics, and you name it. These are, especially when it comes to the mathematical area, it's very much key. I'm told that these days you got to pass in math. And now here it said that students went to sit for that specific component, and they were told there is no calculator. That is very pathetic to say, because if we want our students to succeed, we must be able to provide those necessary, materials that they need in order to succeed in what they do. But we can't just be there and then let them do whatever they want to do without getting them, without providing the necessary needed equipment or materials to be able to, move on. And worst of all, the boss of WAS, Mr. Gboto, the statement, he made does not really sound well. And I know some of you might have, followed that or maybe came across it, because that was widely on social media. And it is, indeed something that warrant attention. Because students can be writing exam and they don't have the support, how do we call that? Especially looking at mathematics and physics. These are two giant size subjects. A student is doing this giant size subject with no, with no calculator being used. So I don't know how will the calculation be done when students don't have access to calculator. So we probably maybe those students' brain is fully computerized, that the calculator portion is in their brain. I believe that's what it is. No matter what, when it comes to math, for me, let me speak for myself, but I'm not good at math. I'm not good at physics either, because I hate to calculate such. So I don't think that, though people like it, but not everyone. So that particular one, math and physics, and we're talking about a subject that it is a gateway for students. And we're doing it without calculator. I kind of want to see how the calculations will end. What points specifically, I don't know. Because, like I woke up to those news across Facebook all over with various captions saying, "Oh, what's bossy this, what bossy that," and then what ran in my mind is, if we are talking about students not prepared, okay, though it's not wise that want to prepare the students, but equally so when they are in there at that time for that period of time, they stay indoor writing, or maybe for that period of time they are there in a month. They are under the control of WAS. And in so doing, their needs got to be catered to. Their needs got to be catered to. So I think that it was not, I don't know whether, because if the students were doing a test on a computer, you will say, okay, you can use the calculator on the computer. From what I said, if you went to an exam hall to even write an exam and it tells you, no, do not bring your own calculator, when you is on computer, they will tell you there's a calculator on the computer. That's the one you're allowed to use. But do not bring your own home computer. But here's the exam, and we stay writing on piece of paper. And our students are not allowed to use a calculator to do some mathematical work. How, are we wanting for students to fail, or we want to see their progress? But I think that other, statement or procedure was wrong. It should have not been done. The end result here is for our students to be successful. Though not everybody will pass, but 100% a good portion will make an effort. But where our children don't have access, it is totally wrong. And I think our director need to revisit that. If you say you're not using calculator, fine, but then let the children be able to use computer to be able to do their exam, because on the computer you have calculator. You can restrict all the other app, but calculator should be on for students to be able to write, to solve problems. It's very important that we do that. Our society is changing and we are changing, and we want to see the positive change. We also got to embrace into that changes. We got to accept it with positivity and make sure that we move forward, not be, blaming, escaping one another. Like, be real is all we have, and we got to build it, folks. Our education system needs to be built for the strongest time. Our health sector needs to be built. We need to impart knowledge into our people. Our people. If we can't do that, we'll be failing the generation that is to come after us, because these are, people that tomorrow they will stand and say yes. Whatever you do, they will stand and say yes. This is my generation. This is what I came from. Very important. Well, folks, like I said, once again, tomorrow will be another big topic here. We'll be hearing from the leadership of the Twah River platform, or the Twah River Development Association of America. And then on Monday, we'll speak to Anson Gobaslepo, the political advisor to Honorable Musa Hassan Belete. On Tuesday, we'll be in conversation with Honorable Mbu Ekagon. And then on Wednesday, Honorable Naka Ige will serve as our guest on the show. So we encourage you to follow and watch. And let me make this clear to the public. All right. I kept on saying, it is not about a title. It is not about becoming a lawmaker. 1 second. It is not that I want to become a lawmaker, no. Or maybe popularity. But I kept on saying, the reason this platform was created, Twah River has been in existence for a very long time. Matter of fact, this process began in 2025. We've been working on it on a cover, doing our groundwork to make sure that everything land on fertile soil. So we didn't just come to, create this platform just because we want to be representative or maybe to be popular, this and that. From what I say, you have a lot TV and television, let's say, and radio stations. A lot. Nobody say, oh, this is my own control area, or this is the platform that we have. Why you want to go do different ones? Nobody's saying that, because they all understand what it means to operate a business. So my coming here is not, or creating this platform is not because I want to be a lawmaker or because I want to be popular. No. We all say, oh, I want to give back to my society. I want to give back to my community. These are ways that you can give back to your community. We all can be politicians. I kept saying it. But we can make changes if we change our thought process in our minds. We changed the trajectory. But until then, or if we are not ready to change, we'll always be in that spot that we still sit in today. Like I said, this platform is for Twah River citizens. We'll go out there. We'll bring people on board. So this is not in any way. I am saying this because there are some thoughts going around that, oh, that man, he won't be represented, oh, that boy, He doing too much. He want our president say he should have stayed here to grow before moving on his own. Twah River has been existing since 2011. Calculate that. That's a very long time. We don't have a radio station. That's why I thought it wise to come out with this platform. We stay on this platform and make us have our radio station in the headquarters of Gapi, because that is our headquarters. So there is no point here. Accusing John Brown or the person want to become representative, or why he want to do this. The person want to do this, that's why he want to do this. That is not the intent and that is not a goal, folks. I will continue to talk about this, and that's what I will do. And I want to say thank you to you all who have followed and continue to monitor and listen to us. I'm told network is a problem in Nima specifically, Kampler, and then its surroundings. That what is giving problem. I'm told that. We hope that they have network restored back to them. But it's a very serious issue. Tomorrow, if you have questions, come online. The line will be open. Just ask a question or send your question through the message box, and then we will see it. Tomorrow, we'll be in conversation with the hierarchies of the United Twah River Development Association. Monday, a one-time defeated candidate, another one-time contestant, Mr. Armstrong Kobaslek will be here tomorrow as our guest, and we hope that our show will go smooth. And that's what we will do. So I'll take leave of you from here. See you tomorrow with another good edition of the RiverSide Talk. Just wanted to make those announcements that tomorrow will be our big show. Throughout the week, we'll be hosting a lot of dignitaries here on the show. So keep following us, and then we will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.